All right, and joining me today is Jamie Edenden, who fights AB Montes at Invicta 57. That fight is on September 20th. So, Jamie, I wanted to start here. The last fight with Jenna Fabian, an absolute banger to start with. But I got to get a little insight onto your mentality going into that last round because, a lot of people thought you were down 2 rounds to none. Is that kind of how you saw it going into that round?
Yeah, look, I think the first round was close, but I think she just kind of edged me in the first round, and then in the second round, she definitely took over and was beating me. And I sat down on the stool at the end of the second round, and I was like, "Fuck, my dreams are about to be taken away from me, and I can't let that happen." So I had to quickly come up with a plan, and the time was running out, and it was coming to the third round, and my coaches were kind of like, "You got to finish her to get the win." And I stood up at the end of the second round, and I just looked across from her, and I was like, "I'm going to beat you. There's no way you're taking this opportunity away from me." And come up with the plan to take her down in the open. And I knew once I could do that, then the fight would have been going my way. So yeah, just had to trust the process and yeah, get out on top.
And is that something that wasn't maybe necessarily part of the game plan? Because you're talking about it now as if it was something you sort of had to invent on the spot. Was it a big switch from what you had planned on doing?
Yeah, look, I obviously I had come up 2 weight classes to fight Jenna, so I was expecting her to be big, but I wasn't expecting her to be that big. And I'm in the gym wrestling with dudes that are 15, 20 kilos heavier than me, and she just felt heavier, stronger, and I wasn't expecting it. And when I was trying to wrestle her against the cage, and I was trying to get her down, and it was kind of like the first time in my fight career where I've been out strength. And I'm usually the bigger, stronger of the two in the cage, and it kind of threw me off a little bit, especially in the second round. I just couldn't find my distance, and I couldn't find my timing on my takedowns, and she was just so strong. So I had to come up with a plan on the spot, and I think that showed a lot of adversity and experience on my end to be able to come from behind and get the win.
Yeah, and obviously, right after that, you're calling for big shots. You're calling for the PFL. You're calling for people to, and it makes sense, right? She herself had come from the PFL. Like you said, you went up a couple of weight classes. You fought through adversity. Was this kind of, obviously you said PFL, but Invicta was the one who came calling. Give us a little bit on how that sort of marriage worked out.
Yeah, so obviously with my weight class, because I do fight at 66 to 70 kilos, there's not really many options for me, and I absolutely cannot go down to bantamweight. I've tried to do that before, and I missed weight trying to get there, so it's just not an option for me. So one of the big promotions is Invicta, Bellator, or PFL, and I was kind of had my eyes set on Bellator only because I have a history with one of the girls in there, and I thought that was kind of the only way for me to go to win a belt. And then my manager got in contact with Invicta, and they said that they were going to build the 145 division again. And I was like, well, that's great because, there's been greats like Chris Cyborg and a fellow Aussie, Megan Anderson, that have been past champions. So I was like, okay, let's go to Invicta. That's still an amazing promotion to be in. So my manager had to do a lot of hard work to get in contact with them and figure out a date and a time to get over there. And they came to the table, and I'm absolutely so stoked and grateful for it because not many people were willing to give me an opportunity, and they have. So I'm super grateful.
Well, that's awesome. And now that kind of led me to my next question. Pam Sorensen vacated the belt at 145 pounds in Invicta. She headed over to Bellator where they had a 145-pound division. So they're looking to build out Invicta's 45 again. Is that sort of where you see yourself in the future, being part of the building process here for Invicta's featherweight division?
Yeah, 100%. When I first started my MMA career, I always knew that I was destined for great things. And you can hear it here first. I will be the next Invicta featherweight champion.
I love it. I love it. Now, talk to me about what you see as the timeline for that. Because obviously, when, a belt's vacant and they're talking about building the division out, a lot of things could be up in the air. People could come over from other promotions. People could be signed like you were. Tournaments sometimes take place. Invicta does love a tournament once in a while. Do you feel like, going out here, putting a stamp on Abby Montes puts you right in that conversation for a fight? How do you see that sort of shaking out?
Yeah, I think so. I do think that, making a statement against someone like Abby Montes, who has been on the world stage for quite some time, she's fought the best of the best in the featherweight division. So going out there and beating her and making it a statement fight would definitely put me in talks, I believe. And if not, then I'll ask what they require for me to be able to do that, and I'll keep working and pushing until my name is next to that line that says Invicta featherweight champion.
I love it. I love it. Now, I also wanted to talk to you about the location of this fight because obviously, to your point, you fought a lot close to home. You fought down in Australia, and granted, there's traveling in Australia. People forget how big it is, but there's mostly sort of a hometown feel to wherever you fought. You're flying halfway across the world for this. Are you excited about that? Nervous about what a weight cut looks like in that situation? Give us a little bit of what the mindset's like.
Yeah, I'm obviously super excited to come and fight in a different location, and I've never been to the States before, so I'm super pumped to see the atmosphere and the culture and just be a part of that. But yeah, obviously I've fought mostly in Australia. I've fought in New Zealand, and I've also fought over in England once before boxing fight. So I have travelled a fair bit, and I've had a lot of fights and I've done a lot of weight cuts. So I know my body, I know where I need to be. I'm in tune with my dietitian and my manager who does my weight cuts. So we've got it all sorted. We know the plan. We know what to expect. And yeah, we should be fine.
That's good to hear. And are you going to get a chance to stay over a little bit and enjoy the area? Or is it like right back to Australia as soon as this one's over?
Yeah, unfortunately, I do have to come straight back. I do run my gym. I own it with two other people, and unfortunately, we have my fight, and then straight away after that, one of our guys is going to UFC Contender. So, unfortunately, I can't. I've got to come back and be in the gym. But the next time, hopefully, I can extend the trip a little bit more and travel and explore a bit more.
Awesome. Good to hear. Now, let's talk about the fight with Montes because, as you mentioned, she's been in there with the best of the best. So when they bring you over to Invicta, you're excited. It's a good promotion. They're building out 145 pounds. Then they give you this name, which is also an exciting name. What were kind of your first thoughts when that was the one they came to you with?
Well, it wasn't the first name they gave me. I actually signed a contract to fight someone else. I won't give any names away because I want to fight her next. But so she had to pull out due to injury. So they gave me Abby's name, and it's never a hesitation from me. It's always a yes. I'm never, I'll do some research or whatever. As soon as they put the name across the desk, it's always a yes. And she's durable. She's very tough. She walks forward. She's aggressive. I'm actually excited because I've never fought anyone like that before. I have quite an aggressive style where I come forward and I like to be in the pocket and throw, and so does she. So I think it's going to be a scrap, and hopefully we can stand there and put on a great performance and make the Invicta promoters happy.
Well, I'm sure they will be if it looks like that. Now, you pretty much led me perfectly to my last question. I love to end these things with a prediction. You said it's going to be a scrap. You said you're both going to be moving forward. But how do you see this one ending come September 20th?
Look, it's going to end with a finish. I don't see it going 3 rounds. I think we're both, it's two bulls, we're going to be running at each other with our horns down and see who's going to come off better off. So, all I can say is I'm going to bring the pressure. I always bring an entertaining fight. So you're just going to have to tune in and wait and see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we hope you enjoyed this. This, once again, was Jamie Edenden, who fights Abby Montes at Invicta 57. That fight is on September 20th. Jamie, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.